everybody, welcome back to the Chaotic Little Book Corner. My name's Acacia. Today I'm going to be doing a triple review for Unnamed Press. This is the 3 books that I received for review from them. I really enjoyed them and I am very excited to work with them again in the future. And let's dive in, and we're going to go in order from least to most enjoyment. I enjoyed all of them. They all have to do with mental health, and I would recommend any and all of them. I highly recommend you go check out Unnamed Press. I will link their publishing house down below in the doobly-doo. So the first one is this. This is West Virginia, and it's by Joe Halstead. This is the story of Jamie, who is going home after his father's suicide to a welfare coal miner broke sort of town to watch after and to see his disabled mother and his young sister, and he is going there after some very reckless behavior and some wild and crazy ideas. He has a very self-destructive way of dealing with his grief. He is very Halden Caulfield-esque, if that's the correct way to put it. I think he has this really angsty sort of vibe. I really enjoyed him as a character, even though I felt at times I was a little annoyed with him and thought he could have made better choices. I still really appreciated him, and I very much enjoyed this book. The second book is The Long Fire by Megan Tift. This is the story of Natalie. Natalie is a young girl who is trying to maintain a normal as possible life after her mother has died in a fire and her brother has disappeared from drug use, and she is a young girl who's just trying to keep her head above water, trying to keep a job, trying to keep her schooling together, and it is just her and her father against the world. The only strange thing about this young girl is that, one, she has gypsy roots, so she comes from a community that is very wary and somewhat of an outsider to the regular communities of the world, and is very aware of her and watching her every move. But also she suffers from pica, an eating disorder that causes you to eat non-nutritious items such as pencil shavings, rocks, gravel, grass, peanut shells, anything like that, and she has suffered from this from as long as she can remember, and her past is slowly creeping up on her and it is bothering her. And then she gets a cryptic phone call that implies that her mother might not be dead. Now, I really enjoyed this book. I thought it was really well done, well executed, and I thought that for me, the most overwhelmingly incredible thing about the whole thing was the discussion of pica and the overall understanding you got about the illness and how it affected Natalie. So as you're going through this story through her mind, you are understanding and finding it logical as she puts things into her mouth and chews them and eats them. It's a really well done story. It's really well executed, and I loved Natalie as a character. I thought she was really well fleshed out and really well developed. I really liked her spirit. I think she has a great overall quality to her, and she is such a bold character and so heart-wrenching that it's just stunning what was done with this book. I really enjoyed it. And then the last book is The Border of Paradise by Esme Wang Lang, and this was my favorite of the 3. This deals with anxiety, insomnia, obsessiveness, and suicide. It was exquisitely done. The story and the premise is really basic. It opens with a man sitting in a hotel room alone, contemplating whether or not to take his own life, and then you flash back and forth between that time and his life as a child, and with his children, and with his wife, and you're just kind of jumping all over the place as if you're in his mind, realizing and reliving your entire life while contemplating whether or not to end it. It was really well done. I super enjoyed it. And I think for me, the big thing about this story that was so well executed was the concept of anxiety being something that had been prevalent since childhood and had been so racking this person's brain that it was getting to the point where suicide becomes a logical way to end the suffering of anxiety and the suffering of insomnia and the suffering of painstaking and crippling obsessiveness. It is brilliantly done. I really enjoyed it. And if you are looking for a book that dives into the ideas of suicide or anxiety, this is a really well done book and I highly recommend it. So those are the 3 books that I received from Unnamed Press. That is the reviews for them, and I will talk to you guys in my next video.